diet for success and what we teach our children. You might have clicked onto this video because you want me to tell you what you have to feed your kids so they end up in scrubs or suits. Let's dive right into. In order to be super successful, you need time and energy to focus on your goals. That's not just important if you want to become a doctor or a lawyer, but also if you want to set up your own business, become a chef, artist, a nurse, a construction worker. So the food we give our kids should have enough energy and nutrients, and it shouldn't take hours to eat it. Of course we want to eat together, but not sit together for 2 hours to finish one meal. And when looking ahead, we want to teach our kids a cooking method that allows them to be independent. By the time they leave the house, they should be able to cook a nutritious meal in 30 minutes. And since they learn how to cook and to provide themselves with food at home from us, we must know how to put a nutritious meal together in 30 minutes. So that's what's coming up in this video. How to cook a healthy meal in 30 minutes without prepping or planning anything. Because that's a diet for success when it's nourishing and time efficient. What is a healthy diet? You've probably heard of the analogy of food as fuel. We can compare our body to a car that needs energy in form of fuel to drive. The food is our energy. Yet I have never met a single person that owned a car and never ever went to the garage to get certain spare parts replaced. A car not only needs fuel, it also needs maintenance. Parts break and have to be replaced. Same is true for the body, but we don't go to the doctor and she replaces a finger once in a while. Our body does that on its own, but that means we have to eat the spare parts, and not only the parts, also the tools to replace them. Our body needs two kinds of fuel, energy and nutrients. Let's put those two things on a scale. Energy on the left side, nutrients on the right side. We compare the daily requirements. Let's make it easy. Every kilocalorie we need for one day fits into one bucket. All nutrients that we need, just in the right amount, fit into a second bucket. So that makes a nice cocktail with dozens of nutrients. Protein, minerals, vitamins, all that stuff. One example. You are a woman that needs 2,600 kilocalories a day. These fill 100% of your energy bucket. You also need 70 to 230 grams of protein, 700 micrograms of vitamin A, 1,000 milligrams of calcium, and dozens more of vitamins and minerals and fiber. And if you meet all of those together, you fill 100% of your nutrient bucket. When we put those filled buckets onto the scale isn't balanced. When you meet the daily requirements for energy and the daily requirements for nutrients at the same time, we can say you ate a balanced diet. So a healthy diet is a balanced diet. Let me show you the opposite, the unbalanced diet, to make that more distinct. When you eat an unbalanced diet, you overdose on energy, and that results in weight gain. Overweight has the risk to impact your health negatively. What happens is that by the time you already filled your energy bucket, your nutrient bucket is barely filled. So the body has a natural desire to keep on eating to fill the nutrient bucket. The food in that diet has a low nutrient density. It's possible to fill the nutrient bucket, but at the cost of overdosing on energy. This highlights that a specific knowledge about food is necessary to eat balanced. When eating only what is available without thinking of energy and nutrient density, we risk overdosing on energy. If you don't have an aha moment, and that is the first time you understood what a balanced diet means, then click the like button under this video. And share this video with your friends and family so they and others can benefit from the information as well. A balanced meal. I've presented you 4 numbers of the nutrient universe. We can possibly walk around and count all the nutrients like some do with their calories. In order to find a diet that meets it, I took a look at cultures that have intuitively established a balanced diet. I choose cultures that have high life expectancy, a low rate of cancer and overweight, basically cultures that are on average healthy and where people have a good chance to live long. I ended up with the French, Italian and Japanese cuisine. Let's take a close look at their day. They all have in common that they have 2 big meals that are balanced. In France and Italy, it's lunch and dinner, and in Japan, it used to be breakfast and dinner. Secondly, they have 1 gap meal, something that bridges the time between those 2 big meals. In France and Italy, that's breakfast. In Japan, it's lunch. And they tend to have a little snack like crackers, cake, fruits around 4 p.m. Let's look closer at the meals and then you might get a better understanding of that. So, like I said, we need 2 big meals during the day. A plate should look like this. Half of it should be filled with vegetables, a quarter with a fill-up side dish, and the remaining quarter with a protein. Some fat is also necessary, but that doesn't have to be evenly spread at all meals. But let's get back to that later. Now you might wonder what size your plate can have. We use our hands to determine the size of your plate. Your portion should include 2 of your hands filled with vegetables, 1 hand filled with the fill-up side dish, and 1 handful of a protein. Now you might see why your kids eat so little. Their hands are way smaller and they need way less food than adults. Let's analyze some traditional meals. A traditional French meal starts with an appetizer. For instance, some crackers spread with liverwurst, pistachios and cider. So that's some fill-up side dish and some protein together with alcohol. Now, one little nerd fact, protein and alcohol start the production of stomach acid and therefore activate digestion. Second is another entree that could be a salmon mousse or French onion soup, so protein and vegetables. The 2 main dishes are fish and meat served with vegetables. The next course is a salad followed by cheese, so that's a fat, and a dessert which is fat and fill-up side dish. Another fill-up side dish is served throughout that whole course, and that is baguette. In Italy, they start with the antipasti, so that's everything at once basically, loaded with vegetables. The next course, the primo, includes pasta, risotto, pizza, so that's the fill-up side dish. The course after, the secondo course, is protein-based, meat or fish, and served with vegetables, the contorno. Everything is closed with a dessert, that's fat and fill-up side dish. So I hope you see that pizza and pasta are part of a meal and are therefore not bad. But if you only have the primo, basically, the pizza and pasta, and don't add protein and vegetables to it, you end up with an unbalanced meal. I believe a lot of you consider pizza and pasta by themselves as adequate meals for lunch or dinner. Now you know why the Italians don't become overweight when they eat pizza and pasta. And I also hope you realize that you can't label one food healthy and another unhealthy as long as you're not allergic to it or have any other reactions. Okay. In Italy and France, they serve all the different courses separately. Whereas in Japan, they serve everything at once, but in separate bowls and plates. The fill-up side dish is a bowl of rice. The protein is fish, tofu and a miso soup or eggs. And the vegetables are served steamed, fermented, raw in a salad, cooked in a soup. You'd see a lot of vegetable plates and bowls, 1 or 2 plates that serve a protein, and mostly only the rice is the fill-up side dish. So now we know what the meal should look like. Those meals, the ones we just talked about, take at least 2 hours to prepare them. I asked older Japanese women how long it took them to make traditional meals, and they all said at least 2 hours. What I did was I concentrated the meal onto one plate. That's why I ended up with the structure I gave you. And modern Italian families are doing the same nowadays, because most of us don't have 2 hours for cooking one meal anymore. I know a lot of people start eating chicken, broccoli and rice when they want to lose weight. Now you might think, that's exactly the structure Lisa just gave me. Perfect. I can eat that for the rest of my life now. I'm very sorry, you can't. Those ingredients are full of nutrients, that's right. But there is no such food as a wonder food or a meal that has it all. It takes a high variety of food to meet all the nutrient requirements. Yeah, let's take a look at each part of the meal to effectively increase variety in the diet. Vegetables. Eat 3 different vegetables in each meal. Eat 10 different vegetables during the week, and all you can find in your store during the year. Of course, only the veggies you like, but make an effort to eat a high variety. Protein. Eat 2 to 3 meals with meat, 1 to 2 meals with fish, 1 to 2 meals with eggs, and 9 to 11 meals with legumes. Yeah, I have an online program called Wisdom of Food Providing, and I have a lot more training videos on how to put that on the table every single day, because I know the number of meals, including legumes, can be overwhelming, because you're probably eating none right now. You find the link to this course under this video if you want to get more details. Fill-up side dish. Those are the carbs basically, and I have to be honest, I named it fill-up side dish because that's what Germans say, and I'm German, and also because of marketing. Carbs just have such a negative connotation that you might get afraid of them. But they are important for your everyday meal, and like the name fill-up side says, they fill you up at the moment. So you can step away from the meal and be full. You don't have to force yourself away from the pantry because you're craving sweets. That's why they are so important, the fill-up side dish. The most common fill-up side dishes are rice, noodles, and bread. Eat all of those. And as for the fat, you need 7 tablespoons of fat during the day. You can have a chunk of fat, like ice cream, and then you don't need any fat in your meals anymore. Or you can cook each meal with a little bit of fat. So this is something you have to do intuitively. If you end up with a craving for ice cream or any other fatty food, it's an indicator that you should add more fat to your meals, like cream, cheese, avocado, nuts, more oil in the dressings. In Wisdom of Food Providing, I also talk in more detail about healthy fats and where to put them. The bridge meals or snacks. When you are in Japan, you see a lot of construction workers at a convenience store around lunchtime. Some of them get cup noodles. And the first time I saw that, I was shocked. How can a man live with just cup noodles and be hardworking all day long? Another curiosity is the Japanese meal ramen or udon or soba. It's just a fill-up side dish with some broth and a tiny amount of protein. That's not a balanced meal. It's lunch. People should have a balanced meal to be of good shape, right? Right. The problem is they are not lunch, but actually breakfast. In France and Italy, you see that people eat a croissant or brioche with tea or coffee for breakfast. So that's a snack That is basically a fill-up side dish with hot, tasty water, just like the ramen with the broth are a fill-up side dish with some hot, tasty water. But in Japan, some people have a breakfast that looks similar to a dinner and is therefore balanced. So they eat a balanced meal for breakfast and dinner and have a snack for lunch. That shows that the timing of the balanced meal is not important, but the amount of 2 balanced meals during the day is important. So if you work during the night or your hours shift frequently, that could be a strategy to eat the balanced meals before and after you leave the house. And at work, you have the snack. The 30 minutes cooking technique. Cooking is a profession, but we all have to do it. Even if you're like me and are not really into cooking. So to make it delicious, some skills are necessary. And those I can't teach you in this video. But you find plenty of cooking classes online. And as I mentioned, I also have an online program that covers those things in more detail. But here is the advice that will change your life. When you enter your kitchen and want to start cooking, choose 1 fill-up side dish, 1 protein source, and 3 different vegetables, and then do something with it. One of the easiest things could be a salad. Couscous, roasted chicken, bell pepper, white cabbage, and carrots. Mix it with a dressing of your choice, everything into one bowl, done in 15 minutes. You could also prepare everything separately. 1 bowl of rice, lentil curry, cooked spinach with sesame dressing, roasted pumpkin, and kimchi. I hope you realize that the technique is applicable to every culture, every religion, vegetarianism or veganism, your region and season. And now comes the best part. It lifts you out of the corset of a recipe. And that means you can easily add leftovers. Just serve them with the rest of your meal. Summary. So we covered the structure for 1 day of food, the structure of 1 meal, and how to add variety. It's important to feed our kids well with energy and nutrients so they can work and study full force. And we spoke about how to put that diet onto the table in 30 minutes without prepping or planning anything. That's important so our kids learn how to be time efficient and can quickly get back to studying. This way they lose no time but still make the best of their meals. I named this whole structure and system the Lemar diet because give the child a name, right? And it's easier for you to talk about it. But in the end, it's a Mediterranean diet, a planetary health diet. It's the My Plate diet. It's a regular, boring, normal diet. But I broke it down for you so it's applicable. The problem with the food pyramid, with the planetary health diet plate, the My Plate is that it shows you the food for 1 day. And I'm convinced that is too complicated because you never put everything you eat on 1 plate and then serve yourself from it during the day. I truly hope for you too that the Lemar diet gives you clarity and provides you with enough support to create your meals and days balanced. You just learned how to eat as little as possible, but as much as necessary. And if you have kids that feel very compassionate about climate change, this is what you want to teach them. 1/3 of carbon emission comes from agriculture, and the growing number of world population is one of the biggest threats to our climate because everyone wants to eat at least twice a day. So it is very important that we all know how to eat little and nourish ourselves at the same time. If you decide to do the Lemar diet vegan, don't forget to take your supplements. Let's learn how to reduce the amount of meat we eat, how to increase the amount of legumes, and also how to reduce the carbohydrate doses in our diet, and how to increase the vegetables, and the variety of vegetables. By eating the Lamar diet, you can improve your health, increase your longevity, and have a positive impact on animal welfare and the climate crisis. If you find this video helpful, please give it a like and share a comment. That would support my work and spread the message. Also subscribe to my channel if you're truly convinced and want to help me grow awareness for that topic. It helps small businesses like me immensely. Thank you very much. Now, I'm coming back because I hear someone asking, well, how can I get my kids to eat the lentils and all the vegetables, especially when they are so young? I can't tell you how you get them to eat them. My focus is for my kids that they eat at least one bite of each serving. One bite of the lentils, one bite of the vegetables. I'm fine with that. I make sure that they at least try it. And in my experience, over time, they get used to the food and eat more and more of what I offer. But I never cook separately for my kids. And if they want a huge amount of the fill-up side dish, I stop them and ask them to eat more of the vegetables and the protein. I hope this helps you a little bit. See you. And don't forget to click the like button.